Before we watch this next clip, take a second and consider how much of your life is transmitted over the internet. So much is at risk of being hacked. Head over to nordvpn.com/TYT right now for 75% off of 3 years of military-grade encryption for up to 6 of your devices. Sign up now and get a free month when you use the code TYT.
The House of Representatives voted pretty much overwhelmingly to pass a federal minimum wage hike. This would be the first federal wage hike in over a decade, which is devastating when you really think about it. Now, this is unlikely to even be called for a vote in the Senate. Of course, Mitch McConnell will block it and prevent a vote from even happening. But nonetheless, I do want to give you the details on what happened in the House. So the Democratic held chamber passed the plan 231 to 199. Now, the 6 Democrats who opposed it are people who I'm going to mention right now. 3 Republicans supported it. Here are the Democrats who voted against increasing minimum wage to $15. So you have Representative Brindisi from New York, Representative Cunningham, Representative Horn, Representative McAdams, Schrader, and Torres Small. So those are the 6 individuals who do not believe that Americans deserve a $15 an hour minimum wage hike.
Can I tell you, I gotta tell you, yeah. So a couple of things. They all take giant corporate money and then, oh, well, I'm just concerned about small business, wink, wink. But 2 interesting names not on the list. One is Henry Cuellar, who's in the past said he's totally opposed to a $15 minimum wage, and Dan Lipinski, also very clear on the record, opposed to a $15 minimum wage. Guess what they have in common? Primary opponents backed by Justice Democrats. All of a sudden, Cuellar and Lipinski find a progressive streak, and they're like, oh, did I say I was against raising the minimum wage? Okay, yeah, minimum wage, of course. Yeah, that's what we thought. That's what we thought. Primaries make all the difference. Go support their opponents, because the next time around, they're not gonna vote the same way if there's no pressure. In fact, Adam Smith, there's a great story you should read in Ryan Grimm's book. It's called We've Got People. And you can get it at shoptyt.com. He's the Washington bureau chief of The Intercept. And so Ryan talks about how Sarah Smith ran against Adam Smith in the state of Washington. And she put pressure on him to not support Saudi Arabia in Yemen. And even though he'd been backing Saudi Arabia and helping the defense contractors milk the American government for all that money, because of the pressure, and after AOC won, all of a sudden Adam Smith was like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't help Saudi Arabia with Yemen. And you know what happened after he won the election and Sarah Smith, the Just Democrat, couldn't pull out the victory? He went back to, is Yemen a big deal?
Jesus.
Okay, so don't believe these corporate Democrats. They're incredibly corrupt. But your pressure made this vote possible. So, Pelosi said she was gonna do it in the first 100 hours, and she didn't do it. And then they asked, 1 or 2 reporters asked, why didn't you do it? And there was talk about, oh, well, there's some conservative Democrats who are opposed to it. The case we made here was, so what? Right. Let them vote no.
Right.
And they did, and it passed easily. Hey, look at that. Before, Pelosi was allowing conservative Democrats to veto any legislation. But look, credit where credit is due. She let them finally have a vote on it, and it passed easily. So I'll give credit to Pelosi. Good job.
And it is encouraging news for progressives, because remember, during the 2016 election, you had the establishment Democrats saying that we're gonna fight for $12 an hour minimum wage, right? And now they're fighting for $15 an hour, which is important because that is not even necessarily in every part of the country, but it's more of a living wage as opposed to a starvation wage, which is, and when you start the conversation at, we're gonna do a little bit of incremental change when it comes to minimum wage, well then it's not a good place to start that debate. And I do want to give you the details on when it would actually go into effect if it had passed in the Senate. So the measure would gradually hike the US pay floor to $15 by 2025. then index further hikes to median wage growth. It would also phase out lower minimum wage paid to tipped workers, which I really love. I think that's great. Now, how much of an effect would this have? Well, the Congressional Budget Office, in an analysis earlier this month, the CBO estimated the bill would give 17 million US workers a raise and could lift wages for millions more. It would also boost the annual income of 1.3 million people above the poverty level.
So Republicans counter with, oh no, the economy's booming right now and you don't want to mess around with this because it could hurt the market and the economists. No, it could hurt the stock market where all of your money is.
Yep.
But in terms of wages, Mitch McConnell is saying he's not gonna even allow a vote on this because wages are already rising thanks to Trump's tax cuts. Not true, counterfactual. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, under the Trump administration, wages have actually gone down by 0.9% in the last year. So wages have gone down when you consider inflation, not up, okay? So this is actually Democrats fighting for higher wages. That's the first part of our progressive pledge. And so, look, if it seems like I'm doing this to Nancy Pelosi, no, I really mean it. When they pass it, that's wonderful. That's the whole point of everything. It's to actually pass the bills. Now, I know it's just through the House in this case, but I also want to give credit where it is due to you guys. Again, if you read Ryan's book, you'll see the Young Turks audience raised about $2.5 million for the Just Democrats. Now they put pressure on this leadership, which didn't exist before. None of this stuff was happening before progressive pressure on Pelosi. She's been around, as she says, for 30, 40 years. She didn't do any of this until she got that pressure. You guys did that. So great work by the TYT army, by progressives everywhere, and for the Justice Democrats too. So keep it going at justicedemocrats.com/donate, because it is actually leading to legislation being passed. Well, hey, you made it this far. You must really like the Young Turks. Thank you, we really appreciate you. Now, another easy way to keep supporting us also helps keep your internet activities and data private, all with a push of the NordVPN app. Head to nordvpn.com/TYT right now for 75% off of your next 3 years.